Hi, and welcome to What's the Buzz, the only show of its kind that spotlights the entertainment scene in Southern Maryland. I'm your host, James Laporte, and this is episode number 254, and we're brought to you by our sponsor, Purple Post Real Estate. Now, I am here at what I call home base, the Three Notch Theater, home of the Newtowne Players, five of which I'm delighted to have with us today from the latest production of Puffs, or 7 Increasingly Eventful Years at a Certain School of Magic and Magic. Yes, that's actually the name. And that doesn't give you a clue about what the plot of the show is, then I don't know what to say. But we should say, disclaimer, okay? Some of our statements or answers are a little bit ambiguous. It's because we have to be very careful, as per the show's license, to not mention a certain boy wizard and the world he inhabits. Got it? Okay, good. Originally placed in 2015, started at the People's Improv Theater, then moved to Off-Broadway in 2016. The writer, Matt Cox, correct? Said it all started when he began thinking about how terrible it would be to be another student at a magical school while a famous person was there. So, the actors. Brandon Marr, you play Wade. You. And your dad's in the show too, playing 722 different roles, right? Now you would be again, you have to be careful how we say this, you would be the bad boy wizard.
I would be a mirror of a certain boy wizard.
Gotcha. Griffin, you play Oliver, his buddy and math expert, right? Welcome to the Newtowne Players, and welcome to St. Mary's County.
Yes.
I hope you'll be doing a lot more stuff like this.
Hopefully.
And Meg, you play Megan, which is gotta be easy for you to remember than your character name.
Yep.
I read in your bio, because there's a little crack about New Jersey, and I read in your bio that you're from New Jersey, which I didn't know. I'm from New York, as you probably know from the accent. And when I read that, it made me think of the old Saturday Night Live skit with Joe Piscopo, where they say, "I'm from Jersey. You're from Jersey? Yeah. What exit?" Because of course there's no towns when you live in Jersey. You just refer to everything by the exit. Tessa Silvestro is the director, and Neil Compton, next to her, is the assistant director. Show is produced by Robin Biddicombe. Stage manager is Beth Sanford. I found it funny, and I have to mention that Brandon and Griffin are both teachers, and you end up in a play about a school, which I find kind of amusing. Neil, what's going to surprise? Let me go back to this. I want to ask about your characters. Wayne or Brandon. Is Wayne confident and secure in who he is, coming to a new school, starting off 7 years of learning?
So he's not. He wants to be confident in his abilities. He comes in. He's scared, getting thrust into this world of magic, not knowing what to do. He hopes he can be the best. He hopes he can be the hero, but he keeps getting overshadowed by another hero of the school.
Mm-hmm. Now, Griffin, is Oliver, your character, is he a magical person, or is he a regular person trying to learn magic?
I'd say he's a mathematical person.
School of Magic, and Math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a non-magical person who's thrust into this world of learning magic, and he's absolutely terrible at it.
I understand now the school is divided into various, you call them houses, right? What's the name of those? Well, one is Puffs, obviously.
One is the
Puffs, and then we have the Smarts, the Braves, and the Snakes.
Now, I'm Meg as Megan. You say Megan's a little anti-social maybe in the beginning? Does she not consider herself like a puff?
100%. Megan Jones wants to be a snake so desperately. She wants to be the snake master. She is not happy that she's with Puffs.
But having seen the rehearsal, I can say you look so good in black. So.
Well, thank you.
What else do the three of you want to tell the audience about your characters? Anecdotes, funny things, weird things.
I would say that Meg and myself are probably the most unlikely couple in the canon of the show.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything there. I mean, aside from the fact that I went home that night and said, Heather, hot shot, shot. But anyway.
So can we share one of our fun facts? Yeah. Okay, so we had to come up with fun facts about our characters. We had to come up with like 4 or 5 different ones. My favorite, my personal favorite, for Megan Jones is Megan's best friend before she got to school was a dead bat she found in the attic when she was 7. And that sums up Megan. That sums up Megan.
That is so funny. I was working on foreclosures one time. We went through this foreclosure that had been sealed up for like 6 years. There's a dresser in there. I opened the dresser and there's a little dead bat just laying there like that. I called him Jeff Mark. Nobody thought it was funny except for me. Now, Neil and Tessa, based on well-known and well-loved characters, but in directing the actors, are you encouraging them to completely create a different character, or let it be flavored with what the audience will recognize?
So a lot of that is dictated by the script. You know, we get a lot of insight into who these people are based on, the dialogue and things that they say. But a lot of it is, okay, we get this kind of skeleton of a character. They are magic people, and they can do magic, and they go to a school that we've all kind of heard about. But they're just a little bit off the beaten path. That's a good way of putting it, I would think. Right? They're just a little off the beaten path, and so they're not your typical. They're not a typical group of people we would watch a story about.
Mm-hmm.
But I think from that it becomes fun to watch a story about these people.
Oh yeah, you fall in love with the characters.
They're endearing.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So they were and so our actors took that skeleton and kind of grew from that and said, okay, here's the skeleton of these characters. Let's give them life.
Congratulations to you growing skeletons. Very good. Actors, what were the auditions like? Was it line readings, or did you have to turn anybody into a newt or anything like that?
Well, we were given cuttings from the script, monologues for characters. We were asked to prepare one monologue from a list that were given to us from the show to portray one of the characters in the script. And then unique part about this process, we were also given 4 or 5 little one-shot lines from some of the fun little characters we see throughout the show. And so then we were asked to make big choices and show a fun, bold character in just this one little line, this one snippet, this one snapshot. What can we do? We have a monologue where we can sort of talk as a single character for a while and showcase that. And then it was the fun of, well, what can I do with this one line as this one character? What does this line mean? What can I do quickly here? Which I think sort of set us up for the whole process, because there are so many characters, some of which you only see for one little scene, and they are big characters coming through. So.
Neil, had you seen this show before you offered to assistant direct?
Not before I agreed to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of a production team here at Newtowne Players, and eventually be a director here. Part of the process is that we go and assume the role of an assistant director. I had not met Tessa before we did a show. We did Night on Broadway. Is where we actually officially met. But we kind of agreed to do the show together even beforehand, and it's just been an absolute delight. If you've had a chance to work with Tessa Sodesco, she's a force of theater. And
Absolutely.
I've gotten to learn a lot about the art of putting up a production and here at Newtowne Players and everything that's involved with it.
Very cool. Did you know that they did a production of this in Sydney, Australia?
I did not.
And knowing that you directed in Colorado and Sydney, Australia, you could have directed it there.
It wasn't in Sydney. I directed in Alice Springs, Australia, which is very similar to continent. We did I Love You, You're Perfect, No Change.
Gotcha. Tessa, were the rehearsals crazy, fun? I mean, I sat there watching the rehearsal and back and forth and opening doors and around. I was like, it was mind-boggling. It seemed like there was so much fun going.
Oh yeah, I don't think I have laughed so much, and I will throw that out to the rest of the. I don't think we've ever laughed. I've never directed a show where I laughed so much in a rehearsal process, where having a group of people who are able to just create with very little guidance, and so it's they create, and I can sit there and like edit
Yeah.
through all of that, but there are times when we just break down
Mhm.
into complete laughter because something happens and somebody does something funny, or we have a costume piece that comes on stage for the very first time, and you have the rest of the audience, the cast is just dead, they're just on the ground, and we have to pause, take a moment, all right, let's regroup and come back. But it's definitely been a fun process to watch the creative juices flowing
Mhm.
and to see all of that kind of grow, and add that in with doors and
Mhm.
all the different elements of farce, because this is essentially a farce, all of those elements of farce, plus all of the characters, plus this world that we think we know,
Mhm.
but may not know because we are getting a new version of that. And adding all that together is just a bit of fun.
Yeah, because the characters are very wild and crazy. I mean, there's a certain element of improv in the rehearsals where you and Neil would say, "Oh, that's good. Do that."
Absolutely. There are actually sections of this script where Matt Cox has given the actors some liberties to be able to create moments. So there are moments that you, because I know you came and watched a rehearsal, there are moments that you saw that will be completely different when you come see the show again.
Oh.
So there are moments that we have, at least 3 moments where actors have choices of things they can say, and then there is one moment where the script says to this actor, you can say whatever you want in this moment.
That's crazy.
And so the other characters who are on the stage have to be prepared for whatever that actor chooses to say
Wow.
at that time.
Can I ask which actor has the improv? All right, then don't give it away.
I think we need to not give that away.
Okay, all right, then I'll ask
You'll have to come see it and take a guess.
Oh,
So,
repeatedly.
One of the things that's really easy about directing this particular cast, we had an embarrassment of riches when it came down to auditions. I think we had something like over 30 people audition for 11 roles.
Yeah.
Which is the most I think I've ever seen in a long time.
That's
I mean, we have turned away very talented people that would just, we tried to put the best show together that we could, and it's been a fun ride. The entire play being about a group of fun, happy people.
Yeah.
It's carried through the entire process, and we enjoy being with each other.
And reading between the lines, it sounds like you three are the cream of the crop. Because you made the cut. Now, as far as like running in the doors and in and out and everything, I told Heather about it. She said it sounded like it had a Scooby-Doo kind of feel, which sometimes it does. Now, as far as the set is concerned, who do we have to thank for creating this? You did.
I did.
You designed it. Very cool.
Yeah, set design. I think in set design that's my undergraduate degree. So when I direct, I just tend to think in design.
Oh, I think in French. No, I don't. I totally made that up. Actors, who has the most fun with their role? And it doesn't even have to be one of the 3 of you. It can be any one of the cast. I just want to know who has the most fun.
I wanted to bounce back. You made a nice comment of us being cream of the crop. I don't think that's true. I think all of the cast has to play so many, I almost feel like I'm boring. I play one character the whole time. But seeing all the other actors jump between these drastically different personalities is so impressive. Like I can't express how impressed I am with every person. It has been difficult, running around, going doors and hallways and whatever, but costumes.
Yeah.
But it has just been it's been such a pleasure working with so many talented people. But in terms of who has the most fun on stage,
I was thinking Jonathan.
I'm sure we're thinking.
I'm pretty sure we're all thinking about the same person.
Jonathan Barry.
No.
He's one of them.
Oh, that was my guess.
One of them.
I was leaning towards Carlton.
Yep, Carlton.
Oh, okay.
I would say
Carlton has a lot of fun.
Carlton. He has some fantastic characters.
Yes.
He sure does.
I would say I think one of my favorites is Emily Quaid as Lee Ann.
Oh.
She is her character. I would describe as the puffiest of the puffs.
Yeah.
and she eats it up every second.
Yes.
Hey Neil, what's going to surprise audiences the most about this show?
I think just the humor that's involved in it. It's such a well-written script,
Mhm.
and when you go through it, it calls back to jokes that you know and love, and it's a fun, warming show.
Tessa, is this suitable for all ages, or is any
So-
any parental guidance involved
I'm
here?
gonna throw parental guidance out there. I like to think of it as like a 16 plus. We do have harsh language in the
Mhm.
show, and we do discuss some adult themes in that.
Oh,
So-
the virgin ears. Okay.
But yeah, there are moments of language and moments of adult content. So I don't think, even though the famous wizard might be suitable for all ages, this one I think is a little more suitable for our older audiences.
I did read that certain productions here and there also had Saturday and Sunday matinees that were like toned down to a G. So,
Yeah, you can actually get several versions of this script, and it all depends on the rights and royalties that the theater has paid for, what script you can. So there are younger versions that are meant for the young wizards
Mhm.
to be able to come and watch.
Griffin, what would you say to people who say, "Oh, I don't want to go because I'm not going to understand the play because I never saw the boy wizard movies," you know?
I think that there's still a lot of, even if you haven't seen those movies about certain boys, there's still a lot of really good comedic bits that are just funny.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't need to have familiarity with anything else.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you really wouldn't need to know anything. You just watch a show and it plays out, and you understand the interactions between people. So, okay, very cool. Neil, what character out of all the characters, what was the most difficult character to cast?
For me, actually, it was the narrator. I think the narrator was the most difficult because the role of the narrator is to stitch all of these 7 years together and to have that go forward. Miranda, who is playing the narrator, is doing a wonderful job of going and doing that, but trying to find, we saw so many different looks of what that could be, trying to isolate what look we wanted to for that. I think that was probably one of the more difficult roles to play.
Yeah, Tessa, somebody said that there were 11 actors in the show. Right? How many characters, individual characters? Because
a lot
I mean,
of
I was joking
That's
about
a lot of
Jeff
math.
before, but I mean, Jeff's got to play like 7,
So
8
yeah,
different
we have
people,
Jeff and Jenny play. Jeff plays like 12. Jenny's got 8, I think. Carlton's 5 or 6. Camilla's got 4. Emily's got 4 as well, I think. Edward has 3. So math. Math.
Yeah, right? Were these
Over
people
30.
told
Yeah.
when you handed them the sides at auditions and said, you know, read for John? Did you tell them at the time that if you do get selected for this role, you're going to be playing 9 different people?
Yes. So yeah, the characters were listed as a track. We use the term track in theater, where your track is all of the characters that you play throughout an entire process. So if you look at professional shows, on like an ensemble track, they play all these different characters. So our actors have a track, and we decided to be true to the script as written, where you have, you know, the Ernie Mac character plays 12 different characters. So they each have a pup character, and then they spread outside of that. So we were very clear, you know, I thought it was important, and Neil agreed, to keep to the authenticity of the 11 characters. Sure, you could probably spread it apart and have multiple actors and throw more than that 11, but I think there's something very intimate about having 11 people who are playing all these different characters. Plus, it gets very hectic back. I'm not back there during the shows, but I can only imagine how hectic it is back there with just the 11 people and all of the. I mean, we have over 150 props in this show,
Wow.
and
How many Nike sound sheets did we get?
I don't even know anymore. So there's a lot of things that are happening, and I think more than 11 people would have just added to the chaos.
So you're saying technically
Mhm.
difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
Very cool. Okay, how long is the show?
110-ish minutes.
Okay, with a 15-minute audition.
Close, yeah. Yeah.
I like the ish part.
Well, the show, we mentioned it being 110-ish minutes. We're hovering close to that. We're a little bit over that one.
I have been told by your producer, Roman Finicom, that some people have adopted the entire season, and Neil may ask you who those people are.
Absolutely. So, local theater is made possible by audiences that come to visit our show and also sponsors. And so we want to give a special shout out to sponsors who have adopted the season or the entire company. So a special shout out to Mary Jo Rogers, A-Tech Construction LLC, John and Karen Gardner, Bonnie Green and Bill Edgerton, Bill Oosterink with Southern Maryland Dreams, XP Realty, and the Chesapeake Audiology LLC.
Very cool. Is it just my imagination, or does it seem as time is going on, there's more and more sponsors every season? You know, there's starting off with 3, and then there's 7, and then there's 10, and
Yeah.
I think it's
I
picking up
find
steam
it, I
like
think it's
that.
wonderful.
Yeah. Well,
Really-
you see one show here, of course you want to come back. and
We
support it.
appreciate all of the sponsors who are able to help us continue to do what we love,
Mhm.
and continue to help bring awesome shows, and all of everything that's on this stage is made possible by people, sponsors, including, I mean, I also would consider to an extent our audience as being a sponsor of this theater, because they are supporting, and the support that we get allows us to give more back to the community with the shows that we produce.
Now,
I'd like to add in the cool part about community theater is that this becomes a safe place for people to explore emotions, to go in and use their artistic talents. The stage and everything that you see has been made by volunteers. The materials, the sponsorships help us cover the materials, costumes, and rights for productions to keep doing this. But all of this is made possible by people who are supporting and loving that community theater, and sponsorship is a great way to support your local community.
Yeah. And as far as the actors, I don't think a lot of people really understand that the actors are not getting paid. They're putting in, hundreds of hours of work for something for the love of doing it. Now, before we get to the nuts and bolts of the production, I just want to ask the 3 of you: did you get the characters that you wanted? Because I know sometimes in auditions, there's little twists like, you can't do that, but you can do that.
To be honest, I was just happy to be cast.
So,
Yeah, I saw the show announced and I went out for it because I knew it was going to be fun no matter what happened.
right.
So, and that's proven to be true. So.
Yeah, so when I was going through the audition process, going through the monologues and stuff like that, I was having so much fun with the monologues. I was gonna be happy if I got a part.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty happy I got Megan, because she was initially the reason I went out. But as I was doing my homework and practicing for the audition, working on the audition material, I realized I was like, I'd be happy.
Mhm.
I will say that one of my favorite moments from the auditions was one of Meg's, but not for Megan. It
Oh.
was for Leanne.
Because I threw myself on the ground.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it just threw herself into the character. So it was a character that she didn't even get casted. It was one of my favorite moments from the audition.
Yeah, I meant to mention, in addition to the in and out of doors and running back and forth, there is a lot of throwing yourself on the ground too, which is always
Yes.
very impressive and very fun. So of course Emily Quaid gets to take naps in very interesting positions, so I like it. The show runs from February 11th. Ooh, you open next week. Hey, February 11th to the 27th. Now Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the shows are at 8 p.m. Sundays are matinee, and they're at 3:30. This all takes place at the 3 Notch Theater, which is Coral Drive, Lexington Park, diagonally across from Base Gate 2. As per the CDC, masks are required for the audience members. You can get tickets at Newtowne Players, and that's TOWNE, newtownplayers.org. Adults are 18, seniors, students, military 15, children 13, and Thursday, all the tickets are 13. So, and that scared me away. Okay. I want to thank our sponsor, Purple Post Real Estate. I want to thank my wife and producer, Heather Lepore, for doing everything, and our creative consultant, Reggie Rice. Thanks to the Newtown Players for having us back here. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the Facebook and YouTube-y things, so you don't miss anything. We appreciate it more than you know. And that's it. Thank you for being here. You, my friends, have been watching What's the Buzz. Take care.